One, it got kind of popular, so it's kind of slow getting away from the 605 over towards the I-5. And northbound, it was an earlier problem, but everybody's still looking. Once you get past Valley View, things will improve a little bit to the 605. Injured in an accident, visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Baugh, KFI in the Sky.
KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robin Banks.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey, DQ fans, Father's Day is right around the corner, and DQ is celebrating your dad with something special. A DQ Father's Day cake just for him. DQ makes each Father's Day cake with love. Grab a cake with fudge and crunch as cool as Dad this Father's Day. Only at your DQ.
If you or your family have been financially impacted by COVID-19, this pandemic is not your fault, and new California laws have been passed to help.
That's right. If you've fallen behind on your mortgage or run up credit card or business debt, please listen carefully.
Our friends at Oak Tree Law know every letter of the new laws, and just listen to these real examples of how they've helped our listeners.
A nurse from Torrance had her hours cut due to COVID-19. She was hit with medical issues of her own, racked up $160,000 in debt, and fell behind on her mortgage. With this new law, she was able to get current on her mortgage and eliminate the bad debt.
Here's a story about a real estate agent and her husband in Pasadena. Their income stopped when the pandemic hit. Their second mortgage was threatening to foreclose, and they had $75,000 in credit card and business debt. This new law allowed them to protect their home and eliminate the debt.
This pandemic has affected us all, but there is life-changing help available with one absolutely free call to Oak Tree Law.
800-542-2949, 800-542-2949, or visit OaktreeLaw.com.
At Loan Depot, we know home means everything. As America's lender and the official mortgage provider of Major League Baseball, we provide mortgage solutions that are personalized, convenient, and fast. With rates as low as 1.75%, APR 2.157%, now may be a great time to explore your cash-out refinance options. Give us a call at 866-888-LOAN. Rate subject to change, 2.421% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states.
I've got a stimulus for you. This weekend, Riverside and Huntington Beach Harley, buy any pre-owned Harley, get a $1,500 gift card. California's largest Harley inventory, Riverside and Huntington Beach Harley has access to over 1,000 Harleys and truckloads coming each week. Get a $1,500 gift card with the purchase of any pre-owned Harley at Riverside and Huntington Beach Harley. Finance specialists like to get you approved and 100% of credit applications considered. Get a $1,500 gift card when you purchase any pre-owned Harley at Riverside and Huntington Beach Harley now through Sunday.
Hey, it's Conway here. Are you looking to sell your home fast without doing any repairs? Then you need to call my friends at Sunday. Sunday will buy your home as is and give you the best possible price. Sunday buys homes off market in any condition. Here's how it works. If you have a dated property or an inherited property that you can't or don't want to keep, or even a house with structural issues, or a house that you simply don't want to fix up in order to sell, call Sunday to get your no-obligation cash offer. With Sunday, you don't have the hassle with showings, cleanings, repairs, or even realtor fees. Sunday will give you an immediate cash offer and can close on your timeline in as quick as 10 days. The process is so easy, you can even get a $10,000 cash advance if you need cash prior to closing. So go to Sunday.com, that's SUNDAE.com, that's Sunday.com, SUNDAE.com, or call them, 800-25-OFFER. That's 800-25-OFFER.
Getting families vaccinated against COVID-19 is an important step to bringing back joy for all of us. That's within reach now that the Pfizer vaccine is proven safe and effective for those 12 and older. This is the same vaccine millions of Californians have already gotten. California is even adding new vaccine clinics specifically for young people. Together, we can end the pandemic. Visit vaccinateall58.com or call 833-422-4255 to learn more.
In 2020, our world went virtual. In 2021, it's back to real life. Experiencing the music you love in person and witnessing live performances you'll never forget. The superstars you've been waiting more than a year to see have never been more excited to perform for you. This September, our 2021 iHeartRadio Music Festival is coming back to Las Vegas. Be here as the lineup is unveiled Wednesday at 5 a.m.
It is time to embrace all these names. these terms.
I'm a NIMBY.
I've shattered from the rooftop. Not in my backyard.
I don't want to live with meth addicts. Period.
Not across the street, not next door, not within 10 miles of them.
You have every right to a nice neighborhood. You don't have to feel guilty about it. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to defend it.
John and Ken, weekdays at 2
You earned it. It's yours.
on KFI.
And good morning, Bill Handel here. On a Monday morning, June 14th, we continue on with the show. Nice to be back, everybody. It really is. After a lovely 2-month vacation, most of it in a hospital room. That was pleasant. Coming up a little bit later on at 9 o'clock, if you can afford it, you can go to space. And that's happening more and more. And then UFOs. 9:20 is the cosmos. You can afford it. And then UFOs. Yeah, okay. I love talking about UFOs. Fair enough. Something happened in the Senate here in California by a really small number of votes. And a measure passed legalizing psychedelics for use in therapeutic settings. We're talking about magic mushrooms, peyote, for example, ecstasy, MDMA, mollies, LSD. And that's fairly controversial, although Oregon last year did legalize the use of psychedelics. And there's been study after study, actually started in the 50s. The CIA experimented with psychedelics. The difference is the subjects had no idea when they were hit with LSD. It's a little bit different. Actually, the studies show, and there is pretty good evidence that soldiers, for example, suffering from PTSD, who have a very difficult time with traditional treatments, actually are helped substantially by ingesting psychedelics. Now, it's under very controlled substances. There is a therapist or a guide that explains what is happening, and then effectively it's therapy under psychedelics. But the difference is, if you have talked to anybody who has done a fair number, especially under therapeutic settings, it really does help with opening up. When they talk about opening up your mind, it's hard to really describe. Having done so many, many years ago, it's been a while since I've ingested any psychedelics, but it really does give you a different perception of life. It's a different way of looking at it. It's crazy stuff. I remember a couple of incidents which I've talked about before, and I don't want to get into it. It was just some weird stuff going on. But truly looking at life in a different way, a deeper understanding, for example. And now it goes to the assembly, and the problem, I'm talking about the bill, the problem is it's really skewed in terms of you've got Democrats that are dead set against it, you have Republicans who are in favor, and remember we have a supermajority here in California with the Democrats controlling the state legislature. Even then we don't know whether it's going to pass or not. Now in the end, does it work? I think there's enough evidence. Now there's some people that say, well, we don't have enough evidence. It's always the case. And the same thing goes for those who are anti-vaxxer. We don't have enough evidence. We don't have any long-term evidence. Well, at what point do you draw the line? I've always loved that argument. We don't have enough evidence. How much do you need? You'll never get an answer. Or you'll get 10 different answers from 10 different people. All we know is we don't have enough. But I think this makes sense. I really do. Because PTSD is such a horrible, just a horrible disease, if you will, and it is really a disease to have, particularly among those servicemen who've been to Iraq 10, 12 times. It used to be when I was in school and let's say someone was drafted or volunteered in the service, it was one tour in Vietnam and you were done. Now deployments are 3, 4, 6 different deployments. Well, PTSD kicks in big time. And these psychedelics offer so much promise for depression, anxiety treatments that it just makes a lot of sense. As a matter of fact, Johns Hopkins last year did a study and how adults with depression responded to psilocybin and thrived. And the only people, or one of the groups of people that are really against it, in addition to law enforcement, are the Native Americans. You know, how can they be against it? You know, they use it, especially Native Americans, I think in Navajo, make as part of their religion. Because they're frightened that the supply of peyote is going to diminish so much they won't have any if the psychedelics become legal. The G7 leaders are now a united front. The summit ends. A couple of things. We're back in the saddle again. We've joined the world community. And at the same time, the G7 summit shows basically how useless the G7 summits are. That's coming up. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
We go through all the that's going on so that we can tell you just the you need to know.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
400 acres burned. I'm Layla Muhammad, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. CAL FIRE says the wildfire burning in the Santa Rosa Mountains in Riverside County is now 30% contained. That fire, which started yesterday in the Pinyon Crest area, has burned at least 400 acres. Riverside County Fire Department officials say high heat, strong winds, and rocky terrain are making things difficult for firefighters. A 180-day program to provide extra firefighting helicopters to departments in LA, Orange, and Ventura counties will start tomorrow. The Quick Reaction Force program includes 2 Boeing Chinook CH-47 helitankers and a Sikorsky S-61 helitanker. The CH-47 can carry 3,000 gallons of water, and unlike other firefighting helicopters, they can fly at night. Southern California Edison is financing the $18 million program. There is an effort in Riverside County to defund the Sheriff's Department.
But the organizations behind the effort emphasize they're not anti-cop. Instead, groups like Starting Over Incorporated told the press enterprise money spent on law enforcement should be used to help those experiencing poverty and racism, especially in the criminal justice system. County supervisors will meet this week for a public hearing on how to spend the $7 billion budget for the next fiscal year, which starts July 1st. Sheriff Chad Bianco and County DA Mike Hestron have countered that cutting funding also cuts critical services and staffing, which impacts response times. Steve Gregory, KFI News.
Data from the LA County Health Department shows close to 1,500 citations have been given to businesses in LA County over violations of the COVID-19 health order. The first citation was issued to a restaurant on June 29th of 2020. That was in Playa del Rey, and the most recent given to a restaurant in Downey on June 5th of this year. Restaurants were the #1 violator, followed by gyms, churches, strip clubs, salons, and street vendors. The attorney representing employees who are suing a hospital in Texas over its COVID-19 vaccine requirement says that they're willing to take the case all the way to the Supreme Court. Lawyer Jared Woodfill says this is because a federal judge dismissed the lawsuit over the weekend.
Ultimately, we think that the policy that's been put in place by Methodist Hospital is illegal, unlawful, immoral, and just outright wrong.
Woodfill says the Methodist Hospital in Houston has told the employees they will lose their jobs if they don't get vaccinated against COVID-19. Vaccine maker Novavax says its shot is very effective against the virus and also protects against variants. The company based in Maryland says its study in the U.S. and Mexico has found its vaccine is 90% effective. It says preliminary data also shows it's safe. Novavax says it plans to file for emergency use authorization in the U.S. and Europe by the end of September. The border between the U.S. and Canada is staying closed, at least for now. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says he and President Biden have not reached a deal on easing border restrictions. Trudeau says Canada needs to vaccinate more people before the ban on non-essential travel can be lifted. The border between the two countries has been closed since March of last year when the pandemic was just beginning to surge. President Biden is in Brussels today for a one-day NATO summit. Biden says he wants to make sure Europe knows America is back.
I want to make it clear. NATO is critically important for U.S. interests in and of itself. If there weren't one, we'd have to invent one.
It's the first in-person NATO gathering since the start of the pandemic. Ned Beatty, one of the Hollywood's most prolific supporting actors, has died. ABC's Megan Tevrizian says Beatty's acting career spanned 50 years.
His film career began in 1972 as a happy-go-lucky member of a four-man canoe trip in Deliverance.
Well, hell, I guess this river comes out somewhere, don't it?
Beatty then received an Oscar nomination for his role in the 1976 movie Network.
Beatty's other movie credits include All the President's Men, Nashville, The Big Easy, and Superman. He was 83. A crash on the 101.
It's downtown Los Angeles on the 101 North at the 110 Pasadena Freeway. Middle traffic lane is going to be blocked. Things are stacking up right around the 5 freeway for your drive. KFI in the Sky is sponsored by injury attorney SuperwomanSuperLawyer.com. Jeff Foss, trouble on the 91.
Oh boy, this is building quickly now. This is the westbound Ortiz Freeway, the 91, just past the 710 freeway at the Long Beach Boulevard off-ramp. More fire department equipment is pulling up right now as I speak to you. Got a car wheels up here. It's overturned right on its roof and a lot of activity. CHP helping out as well. Now, getting slower and slower coming away from the 605. The carpool lane, well, still a little bit better than all the others. But what is also affected here heavily is the South 710 transition to the West 91. That's backed up for the bike lanes all the way up to the 105. Again, this westbound 91 Long Beach Boulevard, a couple lanes blocked. The off-ramp is blocked as well. You might want to continue to Santa Fe and get off there. Now, eastbound, all lanes are open, but a little slow going through. And back to the 710 again. It's been kind of slow coming out from Florence towards the 405 all morning long. Injured in an accident, visit SuperwomanSuperLawyer.com. Jeff Barr, KFI in the Sky.
Westminster on the 405 south of Golden West. Somebody broke down here. Right lane is blocked. Expect that drive to load up at both the Chica, and it stays heavy as you pass the scene to Euclid. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robin Banks.
Clippers logged the win in their conference semifinals matchup against the Utah Jazz, a 132-106 victory on Saturday. Coach Ty Lue would like to see even more of that game's aggressive play from Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Being aggressive, go out with your guns blazing, and we need that from him and Kawhi. Taking the shots, being aggressive. We know Rudy's going to roam the paint and help along with favorites, but you also got to get to your spot and be able to score the basketball.
The Jazz lead the series 2-1 going into tonight's Game 4. That will be heard live on 11:50 a.m. Pre-game coverage at 6, tip-off set for 7. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
If you or your family have been financially impacted by COVID-19, this pandemic is not your fault, and new California laws have been passed to help.
That's right. If you've fallen behind on your mortgage or run up credit card or business debt, please listen carefully.
Our friends at Oak Tree Law know every letter of the new laws, and just listen to these real examples of how they've helped our listeners.
A nurse from Torrance had her hours cut due to COVID-19. She was hit with medical issues of her own, racked up $160,000 in debt, and fell behind on her mortgage. With this new law, she was able to get current on her mortgage and eliminate the bad debt.
Here's a story about a real estate agent and her husband in Pasadena. Their income stopped when the pandemic hit. Their second mortgage was threatening to foreclose, and they had $75,000 in credit card and business debt. This new law allowed them to protect their home and eliminate the debt.
This pandemic has affected us all, but there is life-changing help available with one absolutely free call to Oak Tree Law.
800-542-2949, 800-542-2949, or visit OaktreeLaw.com.
Hi, it's Wendy Walsh. It's summertime and the beaches are breezy. But wait, do you still have those embarrassing blue varicose veins on your legs? Don't worry. West Medical can erase them fast with their minimally invasive varicose vein solutions. Varicose veins can't heal on their own. Call the vein experts at 1-800-WEST-MED for a free same-day phone consult. Treatments covered by most PPO insurance. Call 1-800-WEST-MED or visit westmedical.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
The KFI financial report brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow is down 159 points, S&P down 7, NASDAQ up 32. Gold is $18.69 an ounce, and oil $71.55 a barrel.
The KFI Money Report is brought to you by Bay Alarm, now offering virtual security consultations using your mobile phone. Visit bayalarm.com to get protected today.
Southland weather from KFI. Mostly sunny skies for your Monday. Highs in the mid to upper 80s for the LA Basin, Inland OC, and the mountains. Triple digits for the valleys, the IE and high desert. Mid to upper 70s along the coast. Warming up a little more tomorrow, cooling down a bit by Wednesday. Right now, 69 in Fullerton, 65 in Lake Forest, 72 in Van Nuys, 65 in Manhattan Beach. We leave local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Layla Muhammad.
And good morning, everybody. Monday morning, June 14th. Bill Handel here. Nice to be back after my 2-month hospital stay vacation and surgery, I might add. I highly recommend next time you take a vacation, have some back surgery. There is nothing like it in terms of a rip-roaring good time. Although, John, I have to be honest with you, I'd rather have back surgery than go to Disneyland.
Fair enough.
I didn't have to wait 4 hours to have a surgeon walk in the door. Just saying. All right, the president at the G7 meeting, a couple of important things. G7 are the 7 biggest economies in the world. England, France, the United States, etc. And what the president said is, we're back, we joined the world community, and everybody is a happy camper. He met with Macron, who speaks perfect English, by the way, and they were talking about how the United States has rejoined the world, including NATO, which is pretty important too. And so it's exciting. We're back. We're back to these world summits, including NATO, that come out with these communiques that mean absolutely nothing. I mean, one of the things that President Trump did, for starters, is say to the NATO countries, just before we effectively pulled out of NATO, saying, hey, you know what? You're supposed to pay a hell of a lot more towards your share of NATO than you have been. Tell you what, you don't pay, we're out. And they actually started writing checks. And you have to give President Trump a lot of credit for that. Same thing with calling China out on its shenanigans. President Trump did that, although President Biden is following that playbook and now is dealing with the Chinese and Putin, Russia, on the same kind of level. As a matter of fact, I think it's Wednesday that President Biden meets with Putin, and the president is going to just lay into Putin and talk about, obviously, the human rights violations, but more importantly, unless you're one of the people that are whose rights are being violated, is the Russian interference. Or at least Russia, well, there's 2 things that are going on. Russia, the official Russian interference, the government of Russia interfering with our election, doing everything it could to have Donald Trump re-elected, because Trump and Putin got along, and if you remember, President Trump actually believed what Putin said over and above what the U.S. intelligence community had said. They said there was Russian interference. Putin said, no, there wasn't. And President Trump believed Putin. So interference with our election and interference with these cyber wars, these hacking attacks, business communities ransomware, of which, from what we understand, it's not official Russian involvement, but official allowing these various groups, these hacking groups, to come in and practice ransomware. And that is brutal, what it's doing to our society and the businesses that are hacked. And they're going to talk about it. Here's the problem. Putin's going to say, no, none of that is true. Now what? What do you do with that? Nope, not true. But we have the evidence. Fake news. None of that is true. And certainly NATO and the G7 leaders aren't going to do anything. More dangerous is China. Because what China is doing, and we've already felt that, is simply stop exporting goods. And there was a period of time when you just couldn't buy goods. For example, appliances, you couldn't buy them. Why? Because the components of appliances are made in China. And they just stopped exporting. We'll show you. That's how much control China has actually over the world economy. And they are getting very aggressive. They have the South China Seas. They want to become not only a major player, which they already are, but the major player in the world. Much like the United States was after World War II, where we truly controlled the world economy. Europe had been devastated. Asia had been devastated. South America really didn't count. Africa didn't count because it was so far out of there and the economies were so poor. And the United States, which was never invaded other than Pearl Harbor, I wouldn't call that an invasion, its ability to manufacture and its economy just exploded, and we literally control the world. And the Chinese are moving as quickly as possible towards that end. And there isn't jack we can do about it. So you'll hear a lot of communiques. You'll hear, I think the president's meeting with the NATO countries today, and aren't we together? We're buddies, and we're going to take care of things. No, we're not. You know, it's just the communiques. It's that photo op. That's what's going to happen. Israel has a brand new government, Netanyahu, and Israeli politics are so crazy. I'll get into that when we come back. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Lele in for Jennifer.
The Justice Department's top national security official is resigning from his position after revelations that the department secretly seized records from Democrats and members of the media. The Supreme Court has put off a decision about whether the justices will hear an appeal claiming Harvard discriminates against Asian American applicants. The court asked the Justice Department to weigh in on the case, a process that typically takes several months. And Israel has a new prime minister for the first time in 12 years after Naftali Bennett secured the backing of Parliament and ousted longtime leader Benjamin Netanyahu. We're checking out trouble on the 101 next.
If you're thinking about refinancing your home, let me suggest you jump on it, because here's what's going on. Inflation is going up. Really? Like you can't tell when you go to the supermarket? Well, when inflation goes up, interest rates go up. That's simply the way it works. And if you're thinking of refining, maybe now's the time. Mark Tice of HMS Capital recommends that you apply with HMS Capital and then at the same time with any other lender, a competitor. Now, this is the only lender I know of that actually encourages you to apply with multiple lenders. He's that confident he can get you the best deal. And I've done 2 mortgages with him. I've known Mark for over 16 years. No application, no appraisal fees of any kind. Apply with HMS Capital and with another mortgage company at the same time. Call 833-255-5698, 833-255-5698. Visit hmscapital.com.
HMS Capital Funding is a DBA of Goldman Empire, NMLS ID number 2427. HMS Capital is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. License number 4130360. Equal housing lender.
Hey, SoCal. Going out for a drink? I'm attorney Darren Kavanoki of 1-800-NO-CUFFS. Better have your seatbelts on, your front license plate attached, and your registration handy. Don't give them a reason. 1-800-NO-CUFFS. Because no one looks good in handcuffs, unless you're into that sort of thing. 1-800-NO-CUFFS.
Sunny skies, highs in the 80s to 100, inland 70s along the coast. This report brought to you by 1-800-NO-CUFFS Criminal Defense. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. A wreck on the 101.
It's downtown Los Angeles, 101 North at Grand, and it's a little better now. Have these two cars in the middle traffic lanes. They've been able to sort of limp over to the right lane and right shoulder, so only that area is blocked, but it still did some damage. It's going to be heavy from the 5. KFI in the Sky is sponsored by injury attorney superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Baugh, update on the 91.
Yeah, guys, as a matter of fact, a couple of big trouble spots. First, the westbound 91 going through North Long Beach over towards Compton. West 91 just past 710 on Long Beach Boulevard. Drivers of a rig and a car, something happened here. The car is left overturned on its roof, so a lot of activity. Right lane blocked and the Long Beach Boulevard off from the West 91 all shut down. West 91 getting slower and slower coming away from the 605, and particularly jammed up now as the southbound 710 transition to the West 91. Those white lanes are jammed up through the 105 right now. South of all this, the 710 is okay. And South 5 going down towards Buena Park. Long lane problem in Valley View. Got a truck on top of the guardrail. They're trying to figure it out. All lanes are open. The Valley View off is still shut down. Real slow coming out from Norwalk Boulevard. Injured in an accident, visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Baugh, KFI in the Sky.
In Riverside, 215 north before Martin Luther King Boulevard, injury wreck in the center divider, but it's slowing you down right at Cactus. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robin Day.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year. It's amazing because Discover is accepted at 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report limitations apply.
Hey, it's Gary Hoffman. Let's talk about your Medicare coverage. Are you new to Medicare? Scan Health Plan is here to help. With Scan, you get comprehensive coverage plus extra benefits that may surprise you, all with exceptional service you won't find anywhere else. Call Scan at 1-855-370-7226, TTY711, or ask your agent about Scan. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
Are you still driving around with that check engine light on? AMCO will read and report the trouble codes on your vehicle for free. Call them today.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
15-year term, 1.75% rate, 2.104 APR, 50% loan to value with 400K loan amount at a minimum of a 740 FICO. Not all applicants will qualify, subject to final underwriting approval. No lender fee, title, escrow, or appraisal fees. Must be a California property and primary residence only. Sign on the line HDDA True Mortgage is a fair housing lender. NMLS 1626699.
Here's some news. Treasury Secretary Yellen spoke about raising rates in the near future to hedge against inflation.
That's scary news if you're a homeowner, but True Mortgage still has their super low 1.75% 15-year mortgage with a 2.104 APR for now.
That's right. 1.75%, 15-year loan. It's not going to last much longer, so call True Mortgage at 833-66-FASTER. Plus, little bonus if you call right now.
That's right. They're going to pay your title, escrow, and appraisal fees. Save you even more cash. That's right. Your title, escrow, and appraisal fees. So call 833-66-FASTER or log on to TrueNow.com.
If your current mortgage rate starts with anything other than 1.75 and you've got equity and you want to pull some cash out, call True Now. 833-66-FASTER, 833-66-FASTER, or visit TrueNow.com to learn more.
Summer's here, things are opening back up, and you still have that ugly old garage door. Hi, Dwight here from Mesa. No more excuses. It's time to totally transform the look of your home with a new garage door from Mesa. Normally a new Mesa garage door is $949. But today I'm slashing the price to $699. You save $250. Plus, I'm throwing in the installation free, bottom seal free, and I'll even pay your sales tax. Be one of the next 11 callers, and I'll even throw in our exclusive quiet light system, dramatically reducing the noise of your garage door. Normally $199, now absolutely free. Whether you need a new garage door or just need your old one fixed, you can trust the Mesa Advantage for all your garage door needs. The best garage doors from the best professionals at the absolute best price. To take advantage of this special summer deal, grab your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Mesa Garage Doors. On your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Mesa Garage Doors.
Not to be a backseat driver, but if you need to hire great people fast, you need Indeed. Sponsor a job and you'll immediately get a list